Me.
Not your fault.
Yeah, that's...
What was that? What's that sound? It's aliens and they're living in your town. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared of
What is up,
aliens?
weirdos out there in Weirdo Land? It's the Weirdo Whatever podcast, and thank you for joining us. Let's just jump right into it. Happy National Weed Your Garden Day.
Oh, you had me at weed.
Really?
If you're dyslexic, Denny's, you'd be like, garden my weed.
Man, do you want to start the podcast over? It's early enough to where we could reset this.
Just started.
Beckett's voice sounds like a transformer. I don't know if he's up there. Are you,
Robots in disguise.
Yes. It is Happy National Weed Your Garden Day. And the topic quickly I'd like to go into, a connection to spirit and gardening. Do we feel like when you garden out there, is it just about the weeds? Is it just about getting your lawn looking good? Or for some people, are they doing it to, I don't know, feel a little bit alive, get connected to nature? Vicky, what are your thoughts?
Actually, I was just talking about this with some people this week. I find that a lot of people that need to cleanse their energy, whatever they need to do is tied into their zodiac. So if you're an earth sign, I would recommend weeding your garden, doing something with trees and things like that. People who are water signs maybe need to go to the ocean. Maybe you need to do that. It's not 100%, but it definitely is the majority of people and what they need to do to feel more connected, because all of them are earth elements, right? But the one that's going to speak to you the loudest, I think, is tied into your zodiac sign.
Well, let's get into that really quick. So you said earth, you said water. Or your land?
Fire, wind, yeah.
Fire, wind. What are you if you're a wind sign? What does this mean?
Well, it's just different zodiac signs are assigned different elements. So, like the one off the top of my head that's a water sign. No, a wind sign is Libra. Fire signs, Leo, Aries.
I think Scorpio is a water sign.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm a Taurus.
It's got to be a earth
Is
sign.
it an earth?
Right?
Yeah, I think it's an earth sign.
Is that why I like gardening?
It might be. I just find that it just tends to kind of work out that way.
Becca, what are you? You look like a water fuck. Boating.
So when is your birthday?
Fire.
Yeah,
You're
he's
fire.
Leo.
You're a Leo. All right.
You're a Leo.
Yeah.
So what does
So
that
is that
mean?
August-ish? When is that?
July 25th.
July 25th.
Okay, we got a birthday to celebrate.
That's right.
Okay, Vicky, fire. What does this mean?
He's a fire sign, so that means he tends to be a little hot-tempered. If he were going to do something therapeutic, he might want to go and like burn all his negative thoughts, put them on paper, go outside, make a fire, burn them in there. That might be the most therapeutic for him.
It doesn't match for him, does it?
Well, I've heard people say I'm a cusper because I'm 2 days in.
You're like right on
Nah.
the edge.
No, I don't believe in cusp.
Oh, hold on. There's a lot to unpack here. So you don't believe in cusping, and you think you're... Do you think you're a fire sign?
I do, but I think that I have a lot of stoicism, if that makes sense, built into it. I have had people say when they see me get pissed, they get freaked out because they never see me pissed, and I get hot. I get real hot.
Like a fire, like your sign. Holy shit, work steadies.
I can run hot. But I'm so laid back.
Can't everybody run hot? I mean, Denny's is the most peaceful person ever, but he's told me at times in your life when you were younger, you might have run a little bit hot like a fire.
For sure.
So
I think you go through. I mean, I think when you're young, you try to see where the end of your emotions is, where the boundaries are, you know? So sometimes you blow up over things and you kind of learn like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't do that, or, you know, whatever. You kind of learn your boundaries as far as emotions are.
Is it possible it's a syllabus, so to speak, where you kind of have 80% fire, 10% wind, 2% snow,
Well,
1% glacier?
a lot of people, I just said I don't believe in people who are on the cusp. Of course, it depends on what zodiac thing you're following. Typically, a sign ends on the 21st. The new one starts on the 22nd. That's just generally speaking, depending on which one you're looking at. I don't really feel like that plays as much part as your rising sign does. Like I'm a Leo, Libra rising. So even though I'm a fire sign, my other sign is wind, so I can kind of blow myself out when I get hot-headed.
So can Joe.
I mean, you kind of start like you're writing a 70s rock song. I feel my sign rising. Or, what'd you say? What's rising? Your temperature?
No, that's me. I'm a fire sign.
Okay, Denny's, you hear all this shit. Your thoughts? Is this a bunch of?
So you're right. There are a lot of those if you have a sign rising, like Vicky was saying. But also, I don't know. I'm kind of into the cuspy because I think there's true, and I'm not too much into it, but I mean there are true, whatever your sign is. Say it's Libra or whatever. You're like a true Libra. But then if you could be a leaning to the next one. I think, like Lachlan, my son, for example. If he was born just a few hours later, he would have been a Gemini. He would have been a completely different sign. It was separated by a few hours because Jen ended up having a C-section. If she gave natural birth and stuck it out for a few more hours, could he have been born a Gemini? He would just been born right on the.
It's a great point. It kind of reminds
So
me
he
of
was born
that.
in the night.
Well, it reminds me of that movie. Was it Sideways or Side Doors? Sliding Doors.
Sliding door. Oh, Beckett loves that movie.
You make a left
Love
and
that
your
movie.
life. Well, I mean, I've always, since I was a little kid, I always go, "What if I made a left?"
the butterfly effect.
But look, making a simple left. What's going on over there?
So I was showing Vicky. There's this app. There's this.
Oh,
He doesn't want to interrupt you.
Beckett's over there whispering.
There's this app I use sometimes called CoStar. A lot of girls love this stuff. So you go in and
Kind of a sexist comment.
no, it's true. You go on a date and they're like, "Oh, what's your rising sign?" I'm like, "I don't have any idea," but you can like see how you're compatible with someone on the app and whatever. So I was showing Vicky that, of course, it has my Leo stuff, but I think it says the rising stuff, right?
Yeah, did you put in what time you were born?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to text my mom for that.
Yeah, you just have to know to find your rising sign, obviously the day and the time that you were born. That is what your rising sign is.
Wish I could text my mom that question.
Oh my
Damn.
God. Oh my God.
Aw.
Oh my God.
I sent the text.
He's
No
trying-
reply.
I'm being dark and dangerous.
So that means Libra is my ascendant? Is that my rising sign? Because it gets like pick a
Yeah,
ball.
let's-
Yeah, so then you'd be exactly like me. You're a Leo Libra rising.
Ooh, see? That's why we sit
So
next
you-
to each other.
I know.
That's why we sit
Is that why, or is it because that's kind of how the studio's designed? It's always the question.
It said crying Ryan, so I sat down.
Back to that the movie Sliding Doors. That's a fucked up theory for me
Oh,
because
yeah.
I really do feel like, let's say you wait to go to Publix for 5 minutes. You're gonna go and you can't find your keys. You're 5 minutes looking for your keys. Imagine if you found your keys 5 minutes different or 5 minutes earlier, and then it's a whole different set of circumstances, and you meet somebody there, the love of
yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
It's kind of messed up. It makes you think, should I make a left or right? You
Yeah.
can't get in your head though, right, Vicky?
Yeah, I mean, you could spend your whole life going, "Oh, I should have, maybe I shouldn't have, whatever." I mean, you just can't focus on that. I kind of feel like everything that's supposed to happen ends up happening.
You really believe that?
Yeah, I think ultimately everything that we're supposed to go through and decisions that we make and people we meet and all that kind of stuff, it just happens.
You believe that, Denny's?
That it's just. Are you saying that it's pre-manifested, or you're saying that
I'm just saying anything that actually happens was meant to
it
happen.
was meant to?
Even
happen?
if-
like so, destiny,
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so
kind of. Not as
Because we still
grand.
have free will and choice, right? So I think if we make the decision that we're going to go to Publix 7 minutes later, that was a decision we made. So what's going to happen is going to happen because we chose those 7 minutes.
but sometimes you don't choose it. You can't find your keys. It's not
Right.
as
But
if you are.
I just think it happens the way it's supposed to happen.
So if
So
I
that choice was made up for you.
yeah.
You're a former athlete. I think you'll appreciate this analogy. As an athlete, you can't make yourself go crazy after that pitch you didn't swing at or the ump that made that call. If you guys put in the work and you're the best team, you come back next year and maybe you eventually win. But you can drive yourself crazy. Like, what if I didn't take that second pitch? Or what if the ump actually called that guy safe or didn't call that a ball? Like, things happen certain ways, right? Like grabbing your keys 5 minutes later. And to Vicky's point, I think you drive yourself crazy if you think about that. I don't know that I totally believe in predestiny. I think that if you keep hitting at something, you end up winding up in the right place that you should be. One of my, we talk about music a lot on the show. Darius Rucker has a song called This. It's a great song. My buddy told me about it. He had a life, almost died on equestrian thing. And I was going through something that didn't even compare to what he went through. But it was tough. And he told me to listen to the show or the song. And basically the gist or synopsis of the song Talks about this girl that broke up with him in high school because said she could do better. All the red lights he missed, all these different things. But now he's in a place in his life where he's sitting in his lazy boy. He's got his soulmate in the kitchen. He's drinking a beer, watching the game, got his baby in the crib. And he's so thankful for all of these things he is upset that happened that led him up to that moment because it's all led him here to this. It's a beautiful song.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys on it's going to drive yourself crazy, but it does just make you think. If you do wait 7 minutes here or there, it does affect your life. I get what you're saying. It's supposed to happen. My point would be if someone waited 10 seconds to cross the road instead of the 8 seconds they tied their shoe and got hit by a car and got killed, according to your theory, eventually, if they didn't have it, it didn't happen that moment.
No. My theory is whatever is supposed to happen happens. So if you decide if you're 7 minutes late or something, that was supposed to happen, and that leads to the next event. Not that you're going to that you're ultimately going to die by getting hit by a train.
Not like Final
Destination.
Destination.
Each one of those things leads you to where you're going to be. And I'll give an example of this show. The night that you sent me the text to ask me if I wanted to do a spot on the Weird and Whatever, it was after 10 o'clock, and I never, ever, ever look at my phone.
It's always drinking.
Never, ever look at my phone.
That's when you do a lot of your texting.
And so that one decision, that for me to actually look at my phone, and you were like, hey, are you available? And I was like, screw school, I'm calling in sick tomorrow, because it was when we were doing it like at 11:30 or something like that. If I hadn't made the decision to break the rule of not looking at my phone after 9 o'clock, I may not be sitting here right now.
That's true. She wouldn't have seen it till the next day.
Yeah.
But to your point,
That was supposed to happen.
I would have reached out to you again the next day, probably at 11 p.
3 more times that night.
Yeah, you're right.
You up?
Vicky, question mark. Why you ignoring me, boo? Good, very good stuff. Very good stuff. All that from National Garden Day.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, it's time for a little bit of Ask Vicky. She's the best. All right. Vicky, recently I became a psychic medium myself full time, and now I hate doing it. Do you ever feel drained and not in the mood to do a reading? It's actually put me into a deep, dark depression. I don't know how to handle it. I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Obviously, you need to get a little bit more protection, and you need to do a little bit more of clearing out the energy after each reading. I wouldn't say I get in moods where I don't want to do the reading. I have a lot of anxiety before every single reading because I want to do my very best. If I have a migraine headache, I won't do the reading because I'm not going to be at my best, and I don't want anybody walking away feeling cheated. But in that person's case, I think you just need to build up more of a little bit of a protective wall prior to the readings, and then get rid of that energy after the readings.
What would you cancel if you had an MT? Mild toothache.
No. You just said
Okay.
mild. No.
Okay. Just making sure.
No, it's usually only a migraine, or if something tragic has happened. I come home and, my roof's leaking or something like that. Those kind of things, I'm too upset at that moment. But, everything else I'm fine with.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to give you a couple scenarios. Tell me if you cancel a reading or not.
Okay.
You go home. There's an iguana in your kitchen. It's hissing at you. But it's doing its thing. You're okay with it.
Well, I live next door to the iguana hunter.
Oh.
So I would simply call him, and he can come and take care of it before the reading. I might push it back a little bit, a few minutes, to make sure the iguana's out of my kitchen. But yes, I'm still doing the reading.
So does every town have an iguana hunter? Is that what's going on now?
There's a lot down here.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Just gardens Palm Beach Gardens is not the only place with an iguana hunter.
I'm going to
No.
start a company called the Iguana Rescuer.
Oh, Beckett, I can't do that kind of fight. 'Cause you want to save the iguanas, and 90% want to fucking kill them.
I have so many iguanas around my house.
And you want to kill them or hug them?
Well, so I
Neither.
prefer they keep their distance. Yeah, I mean,
You don't want to kill them.
I definitely don't want to be.
Respect my space.
Yo, iguanas, just be fucking cool. We get it. It's a different land. You're trying to get your footing.
You used to be a
Just be
dragon. We
cool.
get it. You're pissed off. Now you have a Napoleon complex.
Now you're humanized. Now you're breaking people's houses. You are porking everywhere without any kind of regard.
They could say the same thing to us.
Yeah, but we... I don't know. We can hunt them. They can't hunt us. But can they? Oh, my God. A 10-foot iguana?
So if iguanas were
That'd be
bigger, they would absolutely just destroy us.
Could you imagine a 15-foot
Dude.
iguana that had human mind powers?
Well, like what?
All right, let's ask Vicky.
That'd be a lizard person.
Let's stay on focus here. Vicky, do you believe that every soul has a special purpose?
Yeah, I think that we all serve some kind of purpose to some degree here. I know it's hard to think of because some people, it just seems like they just live this ordinary life and they're just going on their own path and they go to work and they come home and stuff like that. But everybody, I think, serves some kind of purpose. And even if it's not obvious what that purpose is here, when you go to the other side, you might be assigned some type of job or something that's going to be, meaningful and help other people.
I've talked about it before. I really believe there are talents within all of us. Everyone in the chat room, anyone listening, and everyone at this table, Ponton, everyone that's on the planet has talents they don't even know they have.
Probably
Because
haven't discovered yet.
They haven't discovered it. I mean, who knows? Beck could be a great violin player. He just didn't.
Yeah.
It's not, and his passion, it didn't move him. But who knows? Maybe there's a time like a sliding doors incident where something happens and it.
You got to watch that movie. I've been referencing it a lot.
I
You haven't seen it?
Oh,
I
yeah, he's
have.
seen it.
I have.
I think we've all seen it a few times.
But
Great
if you want,
movie.
if you want to do a little watch,
Okay.
It's pretty solid.
a
I mean,
little rom-com night with me and the boys.
yeah,
I like it.
it is a rom-com by far.
Yeah, but sliding doors.
But yeah, all conversations lead back to sliding doors.
Now I'm going to have to get that T-shirt.
Oh, yeah, you're right. She had a rhubarb shirt last week. I forgot that. We should have pointed that out.
By the way, the elemental topic we've been talking about the last couple of weeks has been probably the
People
most.
like elemental talk.
It's been a lot. I've gotten too many emails to even keep up, and I'm not saying that to sound cool. There's just too. We're talking long.
Sounds pretty braggy to me.
I'm bragging about my elemental game, but this question right here kind of sums up a lot of what people are asking and saying. Dear Weird Whatever, I keep seeing what looks like a small fairy in my room at night sometimes. It's not a bug, it's not an insect, it's a legit fairy. Would this classify as an elemental?
Yes. Sometimes they will show themselves in fairy form. Some elementals like to show themselves like scary and they try to, talk a good game or whatever and try to look evil when they're really not. They're just, their little feelings are hurt. And, but fairy images are definitely sometimes how they will appear. And I've read for people whose children have connection with ones that look like fairies.
What else is out there? You've got fairies. What are some other? Do you ever get gnomes? Like David the Gnome?
The ones that came up last week, the story about when my mom passed away and I was doing an investigation, the ones that came up to me in Fort Pierce during that cleansing, I would classify them as more gnome looking. The ones that I first came across that gave me the connection to elementals they were also very gnome looking, but they had like really, really long nails. And when they opened their mouth, at first their teeth were sharp. And then when they figured out that I was okay, then the teeth kind of rounded out more and the nails retracted.
I'm going to throw a little kind of hot quiz at you. You say yay or nay if you've experienced anything that's even remotely close to what I'm talking about when it comes to the elemental world. Lizard person.
No.
Bird face.
There was one that was outside someone's house. The body was more like cloudy kind of thing, and it did have like a
beak.
very
A
sharp,
beak,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Serpent person.
No, I don't think I've ever seen any ones that look
Any
that.
sort of snake or
Yeah.
reptile-ish.
No,
Yeah.
Werewolf woman.
that's a negative.
Okay. I'm almost done. Just let me cook here a little bit. Goat species.
No, I've never seen anything that initially presented itself to look like an animal of that type.
Okay, so we're talking gnomes, we're talking fairies.
A lot of them will almost look like trees with faces, and the branches reach out, and they try to scare at first, and then I say, well, show me your true form, and then they come into more of a humanoid form instead of like the tree. There's a lot that have had really sharp teeth, like drool and stuff coming out of their mouths. That's all initially, and then they, come
We could
back to
probably
their regular
sense.
form.
I would definitely be an elemental in the afterlife. They sound like, they talk a big game, but then they're feel like, oh yeah, I'm actually nice.
Your teeth are too perfect to be an elemental. My question for you, Vicky, is this is my own ask, Vicky. For the first time in my life, I've had, I would say, 4 people in the last 3 weeks. They're at my house and they go, "What was that?" They see something. That's never happened where other people are reporting and seeing things. Why is that happening all of a sudden? Are the spirits getting a little bit more daring or more clever, or what is this?
It could be a combination of them. They could be offended that so many people think you're making it up. And so now they're trying to present themselves to
So many
random
people?
people.
Fuck them. I think there was some, but so many?
All right, to the 2 people that don't believe you.
No, I'm kidding. You're right. Go on.
So I just think that, it could be them going, okay, fine, people don't believe us. Here I am. And they're picking random people who probably have a little bit of some kind of sensitivity to it. And that's when they're choosing to make an appearance. I just want the day that one of them, makes that definitive appearance for Denny's.
Mm-hmm.
That's the day I want to know about.
And you know what he's going to say? Whoa. I just said elemental, Jay.
I guess you were right.
It's pretty crazy. I gotta go edit some shit for Kevin. Very good, Vicky. Great round. Very great stuff. I love it. We love talking elementals here. I think we're very pro elemental. Elementals, I got much love for you. We're gonna do some treats tonight.
Okay.
Let's put out some treats. I got some Ritz crackers.
You want pizza?
Man, I'll order you so much pizza, baby. Do I have any? I got frozen right now. I've got a couple slices from Joseph's Classic Market from earlier today. But you want the fresh stuff.
I might go to Joseph.
So what snacks?
No, you're not gonna eat that.
What snacks would summon elementals if that's the plan?
Great question.
I would say something that doesn't have a lot of additives in it. Something very,
Natural.
like something Becca would eat.
Like celery.
Wheatgrass.
some kale.
Should I bring some kale chips?
You know what? Usually I would agree with the ponton and the cheap seats back here, but because Beckett really did try to tell me, Bird, I swear they're just like Ruffles, they're just like Lay's. Like, okay, let's try these. Bitch, epic kale.
No, he
I said it
said
would
they
help-
get him laid.
I was gonna say I helped you get Lay's.
Vicky just took her to the draw with the joke.
I like it.
No, but I like that. If we did a ceremony where we all got together and we made kale chips for the elementals, and
Now you're talking.
we played elemental music. I get the guitar out, going, "Hey, this one's for you, elementals."
Naked.
Showing love. Becca, what kind of party you want to have?
I would have a little bit of fire too, like a little fire pit.
I like it.
A fire pit. Oh my gosh.
To include all the elements.
This is real.
Yeah, to have fire involved.
Fire oven pizza.
been-
Fire, the
raining.
water, the pool is already
Yeah.
there.
Tell me this don't sound like a cult. And
Sounds like a great
And I'm
time.
not gonna lie, I'm so here for it. All right, well, with that said, I think it might be time for some
Denny's
Random Facts. Our sweet Denny's is the best. We love them. We love them to pieces. Does a great job just scouring the internet, finding the best factoids. I've learned a lot from a sweet Denny's. Bicycle face, I bring it up all the time. The one factoid to keep butchering on the air about how we don't know about 80% or 90% of our history.
Yes.
People keep calling me out on that, but I love it, and I'm here for it. Vicky is our educator. She grades our sweet Denny's. If she loves this factoid, she gives him an A. If she hates it, she's been known to give him the F and throw that D.
No.
Denny's the floor is yours.
All right. I'm going to start off with a cat fact for everyone. In ancient Egypt, the word for cat was actually pronounced meow. Cats were very important in the culture, and it translates from ta meow or pa meow, meaning he or she that meows. But the reason that cats were so important in their society was that, and I didn't think about this, ancient Egypt had a horrific snake problem, and there were snakes constantly in their houses, so they kept tons of cats around to kill the snakes. And then they started worshiping the cats. That's why it's so important to their society. So much that if you accidentally killed a cat, you could be punished up to death. Cats were that held in such high regards in society. And if a cat died in your family, you were supposed to shave your eyebrows as a honor in the mourning process of the cat. Cats were even mummified and put into temples after death as well.
That is a great KVJ punishment. Shave
your eyebrows.
Yeah. Vicky, my gosh.
Well, I love the fact. Do you know why the eyebrow shaving was the punishment? What was significant about the eyebrows? Just that you look stupid without them?
There was nothing I saw except for that if a cat died in the family, even if it was by accidental death, it was common for owners to shave their eyebrows as part of the mourning process.
You gonna reach for your phone like you usually do?
Yeah, ChatGPT.
Start talking to Vicky again. Me and Denny's having a conversation.
We're in the middle of a
That
bit.
sounded all distracting.
You're like, sorry to interrupt. But yeah, I thought it was weird that I found a video in the historian lady. It says the actual pronunciation was meow for cat. That's what they just call cats. They call them meows.
Well, I mean, that's an A. I mean, starting off strong, the whole fact, it's an A.
Nice.
I just need to know the eyebrow
Yeah,
thing. So you're back
I
up,
didn't
man.
see anything on the eyebrows. They just said it was part of the mourning process.
Oh,
Because
wow.
you're not using Ticket with
That-
Ticket.
I got
This,
to
this is just corroborating Denny's. It says that Egyptians shave their eyebrows in a sign of mourning, particularly when a household cat died. Cats were highly revered in animals in Egyptian culture, often associated with a way to express grief. Additionally, personal grooming and hygiene are highly valued, and so eyebrow grooming, including shaving, might also have been part of general beauty.
Source.
Oh, just to pay respect to the fact that they were kind of a
Okay.
clean animal.
Source. Catlies.org.
All right, jump to the next one here.
All right.
So you guys were talking deja vu last time. I've never experienced. Maybe that's even something to why I don't necessarily experience paranormal things as well, or any sort of. Maybe because I just don't even experience deja vu.
You never had it once.
Just never have. I've seen it in movies a lot. I hear people reference it a lot.
It's crazy.
I know. It's
I wonder
weird.
if you've had it and you don't know you had it.
It's totally possible. Same with dreaming. Like another thing, I just don't ever dream. Maybe once every 5 years or
That's
so.
insane to me.
But so again, a lot of people just say you probably just don't remember your dreams. But like I never ever remember them. If that's the case, I used to when I was a kid. I felt like if I would wake up from a dream, it would be like quicksand. I could almost keep the memory of the dream, but it would fall out of my hands.
it is a problem.
But I don't even have that. Like I wake up and I went to bed and then I woke up. Like that's exactly how I go to bed every night.
You must. I heard that if you don't remember your dreams, you actually sleep really, really well.
Then maybe that's the case.
Okay, so I could do a journal.
Well, I think it's pot. I think it's
Yeah.
pot. Like when I don't smoke pot, like I remember my dreams better.
So what was my excuse when I was 11? And then when I was 12?
Well, he said he remembered his dreams better when he was young.
It's true. But I mean, even when I first started smoking weed, maybe habitual use could cause loss of dreams. But I've also heard people say they have vivid dreams when they smoke.
Yeah, I it's a good point, Beck. It really is. And I've done the experiment where I have not smoked pot and have smoked pot, and it's pretty much the same for me. So I wonder if it would be
Yeah, but
different.
you're a very imaginative dude. Not to say Denny's is not, but you're a very, you probably have some lucid dreaming, like you have some night terrors.
You don't sleep for shit.
I really don't sleep for shit.
Yeah.
It's age. It's killing me. Elemental.
My humble opinion is everyone dreams. It's just more of a question on do you remember them?
Yeah,
or not?
I'm with a Beckett on that one. I bet you do dream.
I'm sure I do. I just don't recall them ever.
Because I know what you mean. You can wake up from a dream and have every detail, and within just you walking to get orange juice, it's gone.
You start losing it. Yeah. And I mean, I even, when I quit smoking cigarettes for the first time a long time ago, I was on those nicotine patches. I mean, I used to have insane dreams. Every night would have dreams where you could control lucid, like you were just referring to. But without the nicotine patches, I definitely do not have anything like that.
Remember the time you gave me the nicotine patches because you thought it would help me with my sleeping?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that time?
I did. Oh, do you? I know you remember that.
Oh my God! Holy fuck! Not only was I sick in my dreams, I had the worst night terrors
Well,
I've ever had.
I
Why did you give
was
those-
quitting the cigarettes, right? So I had the nicotine patches. They're on the highest, whatever. And I was telling Bird, I was like, bro, these things are giving me insane dreams. So we slapped one on you, but he went from never, ever smoking nicotine ever to the strongest patch.
But I thought we thought it might help. It might cancel out in our own dumb fuck.
Well, so I think it did what we thought it would do, except for we just didn't take into consideration that you probably had nicotine poisoning. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was what we didn't take into
I
consideration.
put them on my body, and then I went to. I was so tired. And Beckett, when I said I had the illest just sleep I've ever had in my life. I woke up sweating. My bed was
nauseous,
it was like, Denny's. I'm texting Denny's. What the fuck? And I pass out again. It was a fever dream.
Yeah, I think what you were going through was overdosing on nicotine. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think that's what the problem. Everything else I think worked out fine.
It did not help me, Beckett. I don't know why we did that.
It was just a half-baked idea we came up with.
That was a dumb one.
Well, anyway, so deja vu. Deja means already. Vu meaning seen. Deja vu occurs when somebody perceives they have already experienced a situation before, and their body experiences familiarity with the experience and also confusion. But there's also a term, déjà vu, which is the opposite of that. It describes an odd feeling that something very familiar is actually completely new. It's the opposite of that. And then this is I brought it back just from an old one I've done, but déjà rêvé, which is what people, I guess, could consider a premonition, meaning already dreamed. It's a feeling that you've already dreamed something that is currently being experienced. Those are the three variations that you could experience. I've never experienced any of them.
That's great. I'm glad you brought up premonition. That's the next topic we're doing. Very good, Denny's.
Nice. I had a premonition about that.
You knew I was going to say that. You son of a bitch. You clever son of a bitch.
But yeah, I just thought just looking into those phrases.
What was that one? James?
J'ai vu.
I like to do
J'ai
James.
Oh, Jameson. Jameson vu.
Am I right? What do you think?
Jamo vu could be you drank and you did something you don't remember, and then somebody reminds you about it.
Oh, that's just. Ugh.
Jamo vu.
Don't you hate that? You tie one on, and then you look at your phone the next morning. There's 17 text messages.
Delete.
Beckett,
I deleted.
Beckett, why were you acting like an elephant?
You're doing that weird
No,
trunk thing.
they mistook me from an elephant.
Speaker
Should
one
have said
blown.
horse.
Vicky, what are your thoughts on Denny's thoughts?
It might be unpopular, but I'm going to go with a C.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a
I
little-
did not see that coming.
a little.
That's amazing.
Well, why you see, Vicky? I thought that was so. It led to so much.
No, the first one, sometimes it hurts you to come in strong with an A at the very first one, and this was just like, this is just looking up a few words in the dictionary.
There was a tie in deja vu. We talked about cats on deja vu.
Damn, teachers made you cold, Vicky.
That's
I
fine.
hope so.
And I love it.
It's that claw.
Maybe it's a long play.
It's the claw. Speaking of cats, her claw's coming out, baby.
Kitty can scratch.
Becky, you had a point you wanted to make?
Maybe he's playing the long game and he wanted to underwhelm before he knocks it out of the park at the end.
I like all the speculation. I'm just trying to get through it.
If I should ask Becca to follow up.
That'll teach you.
Denny's, give us one really good one. Make
All right,
us,
so
make us all.
I teased the prior video with this one, and we were talking merkins. And so I did some research into the pubic wigs, in case you aren't sure what a merkin is. But they were invented, or they kind of gained popularity in 1450 by prostitutes. And this is just funny how things work. At the time, having a luscious bush was considered sexy. Their words. Was considered sexy.
I saw 70s Playboys.
Oh man, you just made Beckett's dick wiggle.
But the problem
I'm more of
was
a runway guy.
prostitutes at the time couldn't have pubic hair because they would get so many lice.
Okay, boner going down.
Totally. So merkins gained popularity because they were a way of having a luscious bush without having to worry about pubic lice, And it would also cover up symptoms of syphilis and other
my
sexually
God.
transmitted diseases.
Where's my shot at? I have so much to process on this one. It's a dog. This is bicycle level.
So-
bicycle face level.
The crazy thing about these things in 1450 was that a lot of them were made with horsehair, goat hair, but a majority of them made.
No cat hair.
There was no cats involved.
I think you're bougie if you get cat
Cat would
hair.
be plush.
It'd be on brand.
Well, because the common way they got it was from corpses. They would use corpse hair for the pubics.
Huh? They did things differently back then.
The 1450s are a much different time. But
Because
yeah,
they
if
were
you
resourceful.
got the really good stuff, it would have been from a corpse.
Well, me and you have a theory about sex stuff when it comes to the old timers. That there's so much butt stuff in the modern day.
Oh.
Back then, we're talking about horse pussy hair and goat
fur.
merkins.
Yeah, goat merkins.
You think they're doing tushy stuff? I don't know. I think the butt would probably be just next
Awful.
level disgusting.
I would agree with that.
I don't think that started till what? Probably the 1940s, 50s. Showering and air condition.
Yeah, well, so in that era too, they used to use merkins for actors in Hollywood so that they couldn't accidentally show their pubic hair. So they would wear merkins under their outfits just in case they were wearing something slightly revealing and it could reveal their pubic hair. That would probably be goat hair merkin.
Vicky, out of all the terms that's been said in the last 2 minutes, which one has made you the most uncomfortable? Because there's been a lot.
Not uncomfortable, but he said it twice, which is the reason I'm going to give him an A. The luscious bushes.
Oh, yeah.
He said it twice.
Dude, that's the name of a band right there.
Luscious bush. Yeah, it's just funny because now it's the opposite. Merkins
Yes.
are probably, I mean, the guy who invented those is so broke now. He's like a beeper salesman.
But could you imagine, though, someone's got dead person hair down there, and then you're doing oral sex? Did they do oral sex in the 1400s back
I
in?
don't think you were doing oral sex on
So
prostitutes
you're telling
in
me
1450.
blowjobs were not a thing in the 1400s?
I think they were for royalty or people who could bathe often.
It's good to be king.
I don't think the people in the fields were. I think maybe after the first bath of the summer.
You're trying to tell me two people fall in love and they work in the fields and they're not at all trying to go downtown?
If they're out at a lake or something.
Yeah, it's a lake. It's a lake thing. I was thinking the same thing. It's a lake thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's a fact. When Henry VIII's time, one of the rumors was one of the reasons why Anne Boleyn held out for so long, and because she could hold out is because she knew how to give him oral.
Okay.
That was in the early 1500s. So there goes your theory that you all invented oral sex.
History makes so much more
So
sense.
I think
now.
it was alright. I just don't think it was common.
I just feel
not
like-
it was.
I think it was. I think it's all relative. Like, if two people smoke cigarettes, it's not as offensive
For sure.
to make out.
I'm
If
just
one
think-
person does not, you don't want to make out with
I
someone.
just
that
feel
smokes
like the
cigarettes.
diseases.
Yeah, but I think sometimes people don't care about that. It's
You're
they're
right.
in love.
You only live
they're-
till 30.
They're,
back
you're
then.
connected.
You're
with,
right. And I think it's from oral.
Well, you're
If they're licking ass, dude, they are gonna die.
now. I think licking,
There wasn't even penicillin back then.
I think licking ass might be a different kind of a situation, but oral, it's the 1500s, and you met
Definitely.
somebody that you've connected with, and so what? She smells like a fucking ram, or the earth, or he smells like, I don't know, amoeba. You move past it because you're in love. No,
I think people fought through. I'm sure it was done. I'm sure there was times where they were not hyped about it, and it happened, and they were like, whatever.
real quick.
You make me feel spoiled.
Percentage of people in the
Well, but people shower. Some people shower 3 times a day now.
percentage of people in the 1500s, in your opinion, who did oral, go
15
percentage.
15. Oh, so I mean, anyone who's wealthy has access to a shower,
Just give me a
property. Percentage of people doing oral in the 1500s. I'm gonna say 20%.
Beckett,
I'm going to say 30%, but I'm asking AI.
Vicky,
I was going to go 30.
I'm gonna go 50.
50%.
I do.
I think I caucus more Jaybird.
1500.
I'm sorry, man. I just think people they find a way to do things with each other.
I get it, man. I get it. I'm just thinking, you got to think, a lot of people lived in a one-room house with their family in the town that they live and die in.
What is the chat room thing? Everyone put up the number percentage, 1500s. What's the percentage of people doing oral sex? I'd love to see everyone's thoughts on this.
So ChatGPT brought up something I didn't really consider, which was really a thing that we have to acknowledge. There was some serious religious stuff going on back then. So it might have been less about hygiene. I mean, to this day, in a lot of states and areas in 2024 of the United States, we have laws on the books where oral sex and anal sex is illegal. Illegal.
It still might even be a Florida law.
I think so.
I remember reading Florida laws, and it was an odd thing where I think it's you can't fuck in front of a squirrel, and you can't do
Iguanas.
It's very bizarre rules here, and I think in all states they have their odd rules. But is anyone going to really come at you?
Yeah, but the thing is, people had to be doing that. There had to be sodomy in order for them to come up with a law against sodomy.
You're right.
Well, so sodomy laws used to include oral sex. So not until 2003, the U.S. Supreme Court heard a case called Lawrence versus Texas, which invalidated sodomy laws across the country. So up in 2003, sodomy laws, which included oral, anal, all that stuff, actually in a lot of municipalities, counties, states, whatever, all that stuff was illegal.
All right, so I'm just looking at the chat room real quick.
Some of these percentages are a little extreme.
Some of these numbers are amazing. JC Diaz says 69%. Yasik says 90%. Do you believe that, Yasik? Sergeant, I can't read his, I'm blind these days. 5%. We've got 25%, 75%. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
40,
I
30,
glanced,
60.
I barely glanced at an article, and it was alluding that there was not much oral sex happening.
In
I
my
was trying to find like a highlight.
My
for it.
opinion was probably like marijuana was before it was legal. Everyone was doing it. No one was talking about it.
Well, I just want the real numbers, baby. I don't want these fake-ass numbers. I'm just going, what was the vibe back then? And when did it change? And it brings me back to our conversation. Bathing really kind of turned the game around for everybody, no?
I think it's regionally. I think some areas had much better access to bathing and such, and I think some areas had less access.
The Greeks were getting down with all the bathhouses.
So
and
I would,
everything.
I mean, there's an era where it was a sexual
Orgies.
proliferation.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you wonder, too.
Like there
60s.
was a lot of probably licking and sucking going on then.
Well, then you wonder, too, if you have access of water and just being able to get cleaner.
Totally.
Do you
Well,
start
then,
to do...
then you have way more of
But
that
if
stuff.
you live in the middle of the woods and you've got, mud ass.
That's what. Well, think about it. Yeah, I mean, before there were cobblestones in roads in England, I mean, it was just muck. People just walk in, people throwing feces out the window. I mean, there's a lot of that.
But also remember, when you were talking about the religious aspect, some people, they may not have done that with their wife, but a lot of these people had mistresses.
Absolutely.
And it was okay. I just watched a special on JFK today.
Such religious.
I'm sorry, Vicky. Say it again.
I watched a special today on JFK. I'm sure the things that he did with his mistresses, he did not do with Jacqueline. So he reserved all, and so this has been going on for years. So that's how you get around the religious thing. There's one set of things that you do with your wife, and then there's all this other stuff you do with your mistresses.
Yeah, Becca did not sway me at all when it came to religion. I get that some people are going to, without a doubt, obey to the religion. You got a human element in there.
I agree with that.
And I don't know if it was any different back then than it is now. I think there's a lot of people who
Totally.
hide behind the cloth and like to get down like David Lee Roth.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Denny's, great job. Look at the conversation.
You know,
Very-
Americans bring everyone together in a weird way.
America.
The premonition topic I wanted to talk about, and it was a pretty long, deep kind of an email. So this mother reached out to me. She had a daughter, 19 years old, who would always travel all the time. The mom never had an issue with that. We always say, yeah, go out and travel. This one weekend, it was a Friday, and the mother had the worst feeling and said, please don't go. Please do not go on this trip. I just feel like something bad's going to happen. And it did. And the daughter got hit by a car and passed away. And it's as if the mom knew. Now, Vicky, what are your thoughts when it comes to premonitions? Do you think that's real, or is that just a coincidence?
Well, I think there's a fine line between what I would define as a gut warning, like your intuition speaking, and an actual premonition. So if here's an example. My sister, she had a boyfriend, I think she was like 18, 19 years old. She specifically saw that this boyfriend was going to get hit on the side of the road, the interstate, while changing a tire. He got hit on the side of the road while changing a tire. That to me qualifies as a pure 100% premonition, because she saw exactly all the details of how he was going to pass away. She had a feeling. Her intuition was telling her something was not right. So that falls more into what I say when people, and I tell people all the time, if you have a gut feeling about something, don't do it. If you don't think you or your child or somebody shouldn't go there or do that, follow your gut instinct.
She didn't say that she saw her daughter get hit by a car, but she did say she saw her daughter die.
Right.
So she didn't have all of the specifics, but she did have the, the beginning and the ending. That would not qualify as a premonition to you, or is that premonition light?
It's yeah. It's a cross between. It's not a full. It's not what I would classify. Of course, I'm not the expert, but in my mind, a premonition has to have a little more detail. What she experienced was her intuition telling her that something bad was going to happen and that her daughter shouldn't go.
I like the distinction. What's the word, Beckett?
Distinction.
Thank you. What are your thoughts on this? Vicky had a lot to say there. Two different definitions, two different theories.
So it makes sense to have like a gut feeling and then to have a premonition. So if it's a detail-oriented thing, what I would, if someone had an explicit thing, I would not change a tire. I'd call it AAA. But I also.
Well, this was 1975.
Sure.
So.
But that said, if there was a cadence of my mom always saying, Ryan, I have a bad feeling about this, because anything I wanted to do that was risky, she always like, I don't know if you should do that trip. I don't know if you should do that thing. Be like, all right, Mom, you're being a mom, right? But the other thing that I would find interesting is I believe there's a lot to be said about a mother's intuition. And, when a mom has a feeling about something, she carried that person, boy or girl, for 9 months. So if a mother has an intuition, I think I would maybe, nothing against my dad, I think I would maybe weigh that a little heavier, if that makes sense in a weird way.
I'd agree with that.
And there's been times where I had like investigations set, and for some reason I just felt that was not the night that the team needed to go on that investigation, and I have followed that and canceled. I can't prove what would or wouldn't have happened if we had actually gone there, but it was a strong enough feeling, and I wouldn't classify it as a premonition. I would classify it as my gut intuition was telling me my team should not be at that residence on that night.
My mom talked about a situation. Now, I've looked for it. I can't find any research on it, but she would go to this carnival that was in her town, and there was a weekend where she was in line and she was supposed to go on this ride. She didn't go because she had a bad feeling, and then the ride crashed and people died.
Oh.
Now, I can't find anything about that. But maybe she made it up. I don't know. But that would be a premonition or a gut feeling. That's more of
It was a gut feeling,
Gut
I
feeling,
think.
yeah.
But like I said, that's just my own definition.
Sure.
I'm sure other people have different definitions. But to me, a premonition has more detail.
I know that makes sense to me. But I do think, like to Beckett's point, I'm gonna go surfing by the wharf, Mom. Well, of course, there's going to be automatic. Oh my gosh, my boy's going surfing. The water, you can die. That's normal worrying.
Right.
The reason why this email stood out to me was the 19-year-old girl was a traveler. She always traveled. The mom wanted her to travel, and there was nothing that was out of the ordinary other than the fact that as her daughter was packing, she goes, "Please don't go. Something bad's going to happen." That's odd.
Yeah, I mean, in those cases, and I've had things with my own children where I said I really would prefer if you don't do this. And again, I can't prove what would have happened if they had actually gone through with it, because they listened to me and they didn't go through with it. I always recommend, when I speak to anybody in readings and things like that, I say it is so important to follow your gut instinct, your intuition. Don't ignore it, because this is a case where you do end up blaming yourself if you don't speak up, at least. Now, my sister, she did speak up. she did tell him, don't go on the trip. You're going to get a flat tire. I saw it. You're going to get a flat tire and you're going to get hit. I think he was hit by a semi. Damn. Like 1974, 75, something like that. And she was specific and she did warn him, but he had to go on this trip. And that's exactly what happened.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough, Denny's. We got semis, premonitions,
It is. Yeah.
elementals.
We were talking elementals earlier. It's 10 to your garden day.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
No, I do believe in that stuff. I think some people would you put premonition, and we can wrap it up after this. Would you put premonition under a psychic ability?
Yes, I believe that if you have a premonition or even part of your intuition and it being so strong, I think it is spirit like talking to you and egging it on a little bit for you to take it seriously. So there are people who have precognitive dreams like my sister did. I have a friend who is actually scared. She has precognitive dreams all the time. Hers are a little bit different. She'll see how a person dies, but it's never that exact person. So if somebody has a heart attack while, their hands on their, door handle, it will be a different person that she knows, but that's exactly how they die. They have a heart attack right when they're, pulling the door open. So the thing with her is like she can't even warn people because it's never the exact person.
And they say there's traits that come with premonitions. You have them kind of built in. They say neuroticism, extroversion, empathy, stuff like that kind of lends you to maybe have,
Premonition?
Yeah, that kind
More
of stuff.
likely to.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was a great email, and what a tough story, huh?
Yeah.
Horrible.
That's a rough one. What do you guys know about Armageddon? I know Vicky and Beckett have a religious background.
So would you say that Armageddon, that term, would be used as a religious ending, or are you just saying the end of the world for whatever causes it?
So when I was a little boy, Armageddon meant end of the world
horns.
according to
You get the
a religious
Yeah.
type of thing. Now Armageddon to me now means anything that's
The
going to
end
take
of the
us
world.
out.
To me, it means Liv Tyler.
I knew it was going with me. I had a premonition.
Yeah, jeez, yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. All right, what's going to take us out? What will cause humans Armageddon?
1,000%.
We talked about this when we first started the podcast 5-6 years ago.
All right, this is a topic we did.
We did. This is one of our first topics we ever did. Was what's going to take humanity out? What will be our Armageddon as humans?
I gotta find what we said.
Well, I've got a few things I wrote down, and I added a few. But Beckett, let's see what you say. Let's see if it's on my list.
1,000%, without a doubt, ourselves. Without a doubt.
so you're gonna say humans?
So
Ourselves. We're our own demise.
I listed war, which I would put under that's us killing ourselves. War, anything like that. I would say humans on humans. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
human violence or something. We take each other. We just take ourselves out.
What's your answer?
Oh man, it could be anything. I mean, meteors. Dinosaurs are probably just chilling like meteors. Are you kidding me?
You're going meteors.
I'm
then.
just saying. So it could be some sort of cosmic.
Going cosmic then.
Yeah, it could be anything of that nature. Maybe the sun has a flare.
So you're going flares.
I'll go cosmic. I don't know, something cosmic.
Okay, we got cosmic
I
for
didn't expect
Denny's.
this.
But as a is that to give a different answer or probability?
That's something that could just happen.
But probability, you'd probably go with humans.
So
Oh,
yeah,
don't. He's not on the stand. What are you, fucking cross-examining him? He said it's.
only thing I
He
could
gave
say.
you 9 answers.
Yeah. All right, whatever. Let's move along.
No, what do you think is going to take out humans? Honestly,
Take us
One
out.
answer.
It's gonna be a long time. It could be a chance thing with maybe the sun or maybe a meteor hits us. Man, I hate to keep coming back to meteorites.
all right. So Denny's likes meteorites.
I
Vicky,
seem to think
we
that's
said we got humans. We got meteorites.
I got to pick something different than
No one's gonna pick
Well,
anything different.
number one, I'm going to say humans. But if I have a number two, I never would have said this prior to the pandemic, but I am going to go with massive disease.
I mean, it's almost taken us out many times.
Yeah.
I wrote down some answers here, and I got my own personal answer.
So what's your own personal? Or do you-
personal? I think it's going to be AI.
Computers.
I do. I think we're
It's
going.
also our fault.
You all tied it into humans.
You win, Beckett. You're the smartest. You travel to Peru and other places that we don't travel. No, I'm believe me, I'm all on board. It's gonna be humans.
Yeah.
We're gonna fuck it up.
Yep.
AI, I think, is going to fuck us up.
So are we gonna make technology so advanced that it ultimately just eats us? We're done. It just takes over us.
I think people are discussing how AI is going to take us out, and they're like, "Oh my god, TikTok! Look at this AI, ChatGPT." We don't give a shit.
You're right. We
give a shit.
willingly use it, even though we mock it for making it's going to end our existence.
I get it. It's going to help Walmart make digital prices at the stores. It's going to take our jobs, our emotions, and our families away from us eventually. We're going to be sitting like this, watching robots do everything for us, and we're going to then become extinct. If something else doesn't kill us before that, like a solar flare,
Meteorite.
a
Meteorite.
just my opinion. I also had, so I had war, AI, natural disaster,
All right.
pandemic, alien invasion. Anything else I'm missing here? Other than solar flares?
Yeah, I feel like you should add that to that list.
Solar Ric Flair. Woo!
Yeah, no, I think we got it covered. I think ultimately it's probably going to be humans, right? We take ourselves out.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question.
Directly or indirectly, 100%.
Well, so, yeah, I mean, ultimately a lot of things could be boiled down to humans. A new disease comes out, people are dying from it. Humans whatever.
cause it, yeah.
So, I mean, same with we create technology, takes ourselves out, humans use it, we kill ourselves. It's pretty terrible. I feel like we just we're cursed. We're just cursed to infinitely seek knowledge, and even if it's at our own destruction.
I'm nervous about AI. You guys know this. I'll shut the fuck up. All right, great job on that topic.
Tying it in iron.
Let's get Tech It with Beckett.
All right.
Mr. Beckett's going to be giving us some. He's going to be schooling us, giving us some knowledge on the tech world out there.
So I like to keep it salacious. You know, I could give you guys updates on a bunch of stuff. I like to bring in props. I talked to Jaybird about that before the podcast. I sent Denny's a video. This is not AI, because AI, you know, when you do some research on technology and hot topics, you know, to Jaybird's point, it's all AI these days. But BCIs are something that you may have heard a little bit about. They're known as brain-machine interfaces. They're also calling them BMIs or interfaces. It's one of Elon Musk's companies called Neurolink. The first thing that they're doing is they're helping people with disabilities, wounded soldiers that have paralysis and going in. But now it's bleeding into the retail world. And I was just curious what your guys thought. I did some research. Now they're doing things like video games where you can control things virtually and in real life without any actual movement of your hands or controllers. That's all by your brain. And this is one of the companies for sale. You can buy it online right now.
So I'm going to pull up a clip that Beckett sent me. It's a girl playing a video game with just her brain. All the reactions and all of the things she's interacting with in the video game is done through her mind. I'm going to play it on the screen right here.
Jibber. Is it?
All right, Denny's getting ready to play it. Taking a minute to boot up.
If you could only control it with your brain.
This is a good. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. Is there audio?
Oh, so the people are listening to. I mean, that's so boss.
So the reason why she's putting her hands up, she's demonstrating that she's using the gun. She's moving her player throughout, you know, a game like Doom or Sin City or whatever, all with her brain synaptics, right? So it all goes in. It's tapped into her brain. Neuralink does implants. So they have certain kinds of these BCIs, BMIs that are actually invasive in the sense that they're actually implanted through a surgical procedure. They have other ones that are actually just something that you wear like a crown or like a headset on your head, and you can actually control things both, like I said, virtually and physically through your brain. Now, one of the things they're working with Neurolink is that you can communicate to other people, maybe eventually animals, but to other people, I don't know if it's the technical right word, telepathically. I could be talking to Jaybird right now without actually using words.
How mad would you be?
I don't want you in, dog.
What would you do if somebody did one of these Neuralinks and didn't tell you, or they attached it somewhere, right? And you're just hanging out and you realize all of your thoughts are being broadcasted to somebody.
No, I think humans would be. I think they'd handle this really great. I don't think they'd do anything nefarious with it. I think we'd all be just so spiritual and honorable with one another. This is fucking
Scary.
Vicky, I think I'm aging out of Earth, dog. I don't know.
Where you're like, I had AI to deal with, now I got Neuralink.
I think I'm tapping out, and I think the robots will win. No, I admit it. The robots are better than me. I get it. That's why I want out. Fuck this. Too much competition with everyone else. And I got robots.
It's like with anything that he's brought to the table, there's that good side, like people who can't communicate and using this as a tool to communicate, but then you put it in the hands of everybody else.
Yep.
And that's where it's going to go awry.
And it's too powerful.
Yep.
It's so powerful and it's so easy. Once it all becomes, man, my dad's starting to do shit that is like TikTok-y. You're going, when someone's in their almost mid-70s doing the AI shit, you're going, all right, it's bleeding over into the next generation. It's becoming the norm.
Yeah.
And within 3 years, it's going to look insane, Denny's. No? Or am I
Yeah.
just, am I crazy?
Yeah, like you guys are saying, there's gonna be a lot of good from it. There's a lot of good that can happen from it. I've seen demonstrations where they have people that are missing limbs and they can control a robot arm.
I love
All
that.
that stuff's awesome. But yeah, like when it comes to what you're saying, the consumer level, when
Yeah.
you can actually buy it at a store, that's when it really, I would say, starts devolving.
They're putting this on open platforms, so that means that people and AI can start coding, right? So they're developing headsets that they're sending out with open coding where people can experiment.
And yeah.
And they can develop their own software. And, you know, I listened to today on NPR, they had a thing with the creator of Black Mirror. A lot of people would describe as dystopian, right? And it kind of goes 10 years out, near future, and it looks at things. And, you know, his perspective might be a little overly optimistic, but it was interesting. Is like society has to catch up to things. It's like people never had alcohol, and then you throw a bunch of alcohol into a room of 100 people. It's going to take them 10 years, 5 years to figure out how to catch up with it, you know? And it takes a while for society to adjust to things, whether it's social media. And I know you have a different opinion, but...
Well, the reason why I have a different opinion is it's kind of like when people tried to debate television. Oh, and radio and television got... in every house, people were scared and blah, blah. It's different than that. What I'm saying is I think television and radio wasn't checkmate for humans. I think this potentially could be.
Yeah.
Because this isn't alcohol. Alcohol's not AI. Alcohol, people are able to catch up with alcohol. AI, I don't know if we're able. I don't think we have the capacity to catch up with robots.
So I'll give you an analogy you might appreciate where...
Collectively.
It kind of goes to your point. That's like comparing a nuclear bomb to going from a knife to a gun, right?
Yes.
They used to make swords, and then they came out with a musket and a round ball. Then they came out with different kinds of bullets and automatic weapons. And then humans eventually came up with the nuclear weapon. And all scientists that were on the nuclear weapon project were like, this is not something that humans need to have. And it's almost in a creepy, eerie way, similar to what a lot of the great minds with like Elon Musk and people are saying about AI, what they said about nuclear weapons. They're like, this is just not somewhere we should go.
Well, just
right?
because we make something that's amazing or crazy or, I mean, we made meth, no? Did we not make meth?
Well, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's. I guess it's.
We're going into our human demise theory, right? Like,
Well,
we make all this stuff.
I'm just saying, just because
We
something's
make it and then end ourselves.
Yeah.
well, just because something's great and it works and it's smart and it's clever or it's insane or it's powerful or potent, that doesn't necessarily mean it's right or the right move for your species.
Right.
Is all I'm saying. I get that it's awesome to get better at technology, but what's the end goal? So all of us sit on our ass and not do anything anymore and not lose our spirit and lose our place on
I
What's
think
the
each
goal?
generation we're the guinea pigs for it. So they're gonna be like, bro, we shouldn't have did that. And then the next generation is gonna learn from that, and then we're just gonna continue so forth.
It's fucked.
I feel like internet turned into something that I don't know if anyone else predicted it would turn into.
Maybe the Amish were onto something. I don't know. You know, just
it's-
straight kick it.
There's got to be something in the middle.
Yeah.
There's got to be something in the middle.
Middle between Amish and Neurolink.
You know what that's called? 1983.
Yeah.
You're right. It's like the perfect combination. You couldn't do too much portable either because it was
Little
all
bit of
batteries.
tech. There's some tech going on.
Yeah, there was tech.
Maybe even I'll give you 88.
Yeah.
All right. Great job, everybody. Let's get out in the wild with some ponton. Great job, Beckett. Nice.
Thank you.
Very good.
Check
I
it.
love it. I love it. It's
Thank
good
you.
stuff, man. Ponton, he had a kidney stone last week. I want to get an update on his health. Did he pass it? People are talking about this all over the county. Ponton, did you suck your own dick in your dream this week?
Yes.
Sorry to ask.
I am sorry I asked, but let's keep it to the.
I did not. I'm just like,
How you feeling?
I feel good. Around 2:30, 3 o'clock on Saturday, it passed.
Was it painful?
Flying colors, screamed a little bit,
Okay, level
cried a lot.
1 through 10 pain.
About a
it's
9, 8.5,
Really?
9. Oh, it sucks. I mean, there's no description for it. It really feels like you're passing a child.
Your Aretha Franklin is
Just
just
screaming.
gosh,
Surprised they
man.
haven't made
Ari
any
is-
kidney stone lube. You know, something just like makes it.
Vicky, I'm so sorry.
No, it just makes it.
Oh God, Vicky
Trusted
shuddered.
little monkey.
Oh,
Come on.
Becky. First of all, lube alone is kind of like, oh, what lube? What are you talking about, pervy?
What do you have against lube?
Beckett, you
I love
passed
lube.
one. You know lube's not helping that.
Look, Becky, I love a lube.
See, I have nothing against lube, but I had a visual of how you would use it in that
Thank you.
situation.
That's what I'm saying. Vicky winced when you said, yeah, kidney stone lube.
It's all fun and games. I mean, think about what X-Lax is. I mean, it's constipation. You know, it's basically lube for the intestinal walls, right? Like, why can't they do that for? Listen, because I'm someone that empathizes with Ponton. There needs to be a way to pass it better. That's all I'm saying, right? They make Pepto-Bismol for your stomach. They make X-Lax for your intestines. They make lube for fun stuff. Like they got to make something for. It's a messed up that there's not a solution for this.
Isn't it crazy
Laser.
that we're talking about AI and all this technology, and there's some shit here on
And you have grown men crying in the emergency room.
where you go. We can't do like a little on the dick.
Well, they'll laser if they're
Or the
spiked or
vagina.
if they're implanted, they'll laser them out and it breaks it down.
Is that better?
Well, they use
Yeah.
ultrasound waves, right?
Yeah.
Ultrasound waves.
Let
Yeah,
me guess. It's $1,000 per crystal that's broken.
I'm gonna say fuck if I know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a real cheap.
Whatever they
process.
charge, it's worth it because it is one of the worst pains you have ever gone through in your life.
Awful.
And if insurance doesn't cover it, then F them. Because
So that's not covered under insurance.
It's an emergency room visit. That's a $50 minimum copay.
oh yeah.
But
if I
Denny's
didn't
and I
have, if
both
I
know
didn't have someone to
insurance.
drive me to the hospital, I would call an ambulance. That's how bad I was literally puking in pain.
Vicky, what are your thoughts on all this? First of all, I know you're still reeling from the kidney stone lube comment.
Yeah. It's not just
Oh, let's
created a
not
visual.
clutch our pearls over lube. It's the best thing that ever happened.
Put your pearls away, Beck.
All right, good. He's done with the whiskey. Vicky, the floor is yours.
I mean, I'm just sitting, I'm kind of smiling to myself because women have been giving birth since the beginning of time,
Oh, boy.
which is excruciating pain. So I'm kind of like, oh, God
Hey.
created kidney stones for men.
Hey, who invited Virginia? Gender war. I love it. Okay, and the other thing, believe it or not, last week you did talk about how you had a dream about sucking your own dick. And if anyone else did have it.
I heard from people that they did.
Yeah, so did I. And Jonathan from Port St. Lucie, stop DMing me, man. I get it. You got a lot of dreams you're having. You're sucking your own dick. It's hard and it's big. Stop sending me DMs, please.
And no more pictures, Jonathan.
Just, Jonathan, please stop. But just know, Ponton, some people see you and they hear you and you're not alone.
Sorry.
I would say that's a control issue. I would say that the dream comes about because that's one thing that for sure, you can't do unless you're missing some ribs or something. But I think it is about your lack of control in some other area in your life.
Speaking of percentages, how many people on the planet can suck their own genital?
A point I was going to make last week with that. Okay, let's just say I'm going to massage my own neck. It's not going to feel as good, right?
It's not.
So even if you could do that to yourself, it's probably not going to feel as good.
I don't know.
Because it's you doing it.
I kind of feel like I jerk off pretty good, though.
You might know
I'm so
exactly
sorry,
where
Vicky.
you need
I'm
it.
so
I don't know.
sorry, Vicky, I'm so sorry. Oh my
Not without lube.
Vicky, I forgot that we were. I'm so, we're all friends. We're all comfortable here.
Well, everyone has a talent.
No, I know what you're saying. Because to your point, if I massage my arm, I can't massage it like a girl could massage it for me. It feels so good. But I do think it's a little bit different sometimes with masturbating. No?
Okay.
No. I'm asking the forum, not just Vicky, to make it weird.
I don't know. I still don't think it would be as great as you think it would be.
Becca, what are your thoughts? Do you feel like you can touch yourself better sometimes than I feel like sometimes that's why people go to masturbating is because they
Know exactly what they like.
yes, and not everyone has this this relationship where they can communicate every desire and every need. Oh no, Beckett, do it this way. Oh no, touch my ball that way. No, slow it down, Beckett. Oh, slow it down.
So I would say I agree with both of you in the sense, actually,
His dick is dancing. Oh, yeah.
in the sense that I think that, with masturbation, people, maybe if we had these brain feedback tools and the other person knows what
Beckett, make sure you're talking into that mic.
knows what feels good in that
Can you
moment.
listen to that, Denny's? I think there's a audio issue. You might have to listen to Ponta. I'm sorry.
If someone feels that in the moment, then they can actually, because I think that it's kind of like jazz in a sense. I know that sounds weird, and people are riffing off each other. And with masturbation, you have instant feedback. Is that my mic?
I'm just making sure you all of a sudden went real low. I just want to make sure people hear you. And I apologize for interrupting. Go ahead and keep talking, Beckett. Talk. Just get sexual.
Get sexual?
No,
with it?
don't.
My laugh comes
Yeah.
through. Okay.
Is it all right?
Yeah, I mean, I just got it on. I'm listening.
Okay,
right
keep
now.
going.
I
Keep
can
going.
hear him fine.
So if you're riffing in jazz, like you're playing off the other person. So I think that in a sexual interaction with another person, you're kind of literally and figuratively playing off each other, right? And you see someone's reactions and how they feel. So I think you have an unfair advantage in masturbation because you know where you are in that moment. So I agree with Vicky. I think all things being equal, I think that if you're with a partner that understands you and understands that the with another person is so much more rewarding, feels better, all of those things. I do think early days, until the other person learns, understands, whatever, that early days in the relationship, that sometimes masturbation could have a little bit of an advantage because you know yourself better. You've driven that car more often.
And I think both of you are right. I think if you're comfortable with somebody, if you have a lover that you really could communicate with and they know you on such a, I don't want to say spiritual, but just on such a level where you guys, your bodies connect, you get it, you're communicating, you know what you guys like. I do think it could be better than masturbating.
Yeah, 100%.
But I do think finding that person that understands that is more on the rare end.
Not to be cheesy.
Because I think people are nervous to tell people what they really like.
Not to be cheesy, but that's what makes it better. Ultimately, is because it's harder to find that person. And to use your massaging analogy,
Oh yeah.
I agree with you. But sometimes that person that's massaging you, it feels better, but you're like, oh, I'm sore right here, right? And you let that person know, you communicate them,
Yeah.
that like, hey, like this part on my forearm from masturbating so much is sore.
That's a different situation. I would never admit that.
But once you communicate to them, you're like, oh yeah, or in your back, like that's where my knot is, like yeah, like whatever. So
To me, there's sexual. There's three things. There's nurturing, rubbing, and hugging. Then there is nurturing / kind of sexual, and then there's just straight up, all right, we're gonna fuck, right? There's 3 different kind of things there, and I feel like they all have their place, and I do think that if you have somebody you're able to connect with and communicate with, I think they all can be 10 out of 10. But I do think it's a rarity.
Yeah. So that's why I would give masturbation could be a 9 out of 10 tops.
Vicky, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It could be a 9 out of 10 tops. But if you have someone that is aware, sensitive of your desires, your wants, your needs, then that is more likely to be a 10 out of 10.
What are your thoughts on that, Denny's? Communication in the bedroom?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's probably more fulfilling because you're experiencing it with somebody. But I mean, I don't know. Where are you going to go from there?
I mean,
You guys have been on masturbation for a second.
I
Right?
just tell you, we have to wrap up the Beckett masturbation conversation.
Pun intended.
And I just love when Denny says words like fulfilling.
it's the bush.
That luscious bush.
Beckett, or I'm sorry, Ponta, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you have any final thoughts you wanted to say about your dick sucking or your dreams or?
I'm okay.
You're okay. I didn't mean to cut
How
you. I
did
just
you
wanted
get
to
the kidney stone out?
That would be a punishment.
All right. Well, I think it might be time to wrap this thing up. We've been going over an hour, and we're almost at 85 watching
Nice.
right now. Very good, y'all. Thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. We really do. You guys are our weirdos. I'm not pandering. Seriously, if we didn't have 80 people, we don't have a podcast. So it's amazing. Let's talk about our local music artist. One of my favorite segments of this entire podcast is kind of highlighting people who write their own music, original songwriters. That's what this is all about. It's very hard to get your music played these days, Denny's.
Oh, jeez. Everybody's so turned off to hearing new music.
Now we're gonna get a little hard, a little punky tonight. Last couple weeks, it's been very singer songwriter.
You're right.
We're gonna put a little blood
I like it.
in your.
In the urine.
We
Joe.
we love this
soon.
we love this family. Gunnar Gill is the name of the artist. His mom and him were in KVJ,
KVJ,
horror movies.
Grimsley.
He's a drummer. He's a singer. He's a punk rocker. And I'm just, if you have a song out there, I don't care what genre it is, from ragtime to hip hop to whatever. If you got a song, send it to me, please. This is Gunnar Gill. Sex and Nicotine. Thank you all
I like this.
for listening.
I
The
said.
title.
Yeah.
We love you all, and
Bigfoot is real.
take it away, Gunnar.